My name is Wangari Kinyajui. I am a medical student in my fourth year, University of Nairobi. I love arts. I love reading. I love games. Oh, card games, board games. And I love people. And I am also the founder of an initiative called Warrior Glow.
So what is Warrior Glow?
Warrior Glow is an initiative that looks to address side effects caused by treatments, specifically in cancer patients. So the people, or rather the people who constitute Warrior Glow, apart from the patients, are mostly medical students. So it's now medical students coming in to accomplish that goal, which is help patients cope with the side effects of treatment, specifically, once again, cancer patients.
What inspired you to start Warrior Glow?
During the third year break, I was working as a research assistant with the department in Kenyatta, and the paper I was working on was on breast cancer. So we needed to talk to the patients, so interview them, and then upon interviewing them, some of them were eligible to answer questionnaire. So the particular patients were breast cancer patients. Our sample size was so big, so we talked to so many patients. I think by then it was like 500 patients. And one of the things we noticed, so for example, you're interviewing a patient and you're talking to them, and you just notice them adjusting their wig, or just be like, I'm sorry, nywele ilimwagika, or like, hair fell because I started chemo. I don't know, I just took this wig, and you can tell like they're conscious, or like sometimes when they look down and it starts slipping. And you could just tell they're uncomfortable. And then some, especially with some of the drugs, when they start having some of the chemo, their nails start changing, they become dark, they start having ridges, they become so weak. And so you would talk to some of the patients and they would start fidgeting, so they're like trying to bite their nails because they're feeling conscious. And it just used to, I was just like, this is not it. So I am a fan of New Amsterdam, the medical series, particularly Dr. Max Godwin. I like how he thinks as a solution bringer in a space where there's just so many issues, and then he's like, what can I do? So I think I told myself I want to be that type of person who, when I see a problem, just be like, what is it that I can do? The third thing is, every time we talk to the patients, for them to answer the questionnaire, we needed a consent form, for them to first sign a consent form. So I would first explain to them what the consent form is, and they'd be like, okay, if you want me to help you and sign your consent form, what do I get in return? Because you get to have your data, you get to go on with your paper, what do I get in return? So we tell them, when you get the paper and you do the research, it will benefit, and you'll be able to come up with all these policies to help you guys. And they're like, that's like long term, how can it help me now? And I was just like, I don't know, because you didn't have an incentive like to give them money or something. And I used to low-key feel like a fraud. And so I was just like, what can I do? I can't do your surgery, I can't pay for your chemo. And in that space I was like, okay, then what can I do? And in seeing, you remember the challenges, like the two, I am a fan of turbans or head wraps, as you can see. I find them really easy to manipulate, I find them stylish, I find them very affordable. So I was like, hold up, wait. And then for the nails, just teaching them how to take care of their nails so that in case they start cracking, because you see, let's say my nails, the shape they're in, we have some sharp corners. So if they're more likely to crack, because maybe this corner I can be doing something and it's like stuck on my cloth. And like it was filed in a smooth circular manner. So such small things you get to teach patients, they get to prevent breakages of their nails. Because like for me, my nail breaks, it like just break this part. For them it goes all the way. So it's more painful and for the ones whose nails like turn dark, if you just teach them that nail polish can be a camouflage and nobody's gonna know, So I was just like, yeah. And I talked to my two good friends. One was my partner during the research, Joy, and another one, Ruby. And I told them about it, and they were like, yeah, you see. And so after that, we went to the department in Kenyatta Social Service. which handles such type of projects, specifically also with the oncology department. I told them about it and they were like, yeah, we're on board. And so that's how Warrior Glow came to be. Oh, also talked to some of my colleagues because I needed a team. Hanifa, Lynette, Lulu, Melvin, Bob, Ruby once again, Kisoi, and Niharika. Those are my amazing classmates, colleagues who are now part of the team. So,
Under Warrior Glow, what programs do you have for patients?
so we have two things, just because so far, because of where we are at and the resources we have, those are the two things we've been able to have. So those are the two programs we're having. So one is the turban program, or headscarves, or yeah. So that's what we have to address hair loss or alopecia. So we have that where we buy for them turbans and then we teach them how to style them. So in our sessions, we give them the turbans and then we have someone who will illustrate different styles and you want them to replicate, because the point is to help them gain a skill. We're not coming to give them and just do it for them. We're doing and then we're like, try doing it. So that when you go home, it's something you can do. So we teach them nail grooming skills and then the showing on top, because you know women like feeling good. We do the nail polish. Also, just to clarify, it's also in a workshop setting. So we are not necessarily doing their nails, we are illustrating and asking them to replicate. So once again, it's a skill they're gaining. We would like to give them like the nail equipment and stuff we use, or like the nail polishes, but we are not yet there financially. So, but we aim to get there. So far I've only spoken about the females, just because when we started, they're the ones we had seen with these challenges, but in some of our sessions we had male patients come in and they're like, yeah, we also would want to be included. There's stuff we deal with following treatment. So they suggested we bring them capes or hats. So yeah, that's something else we are starting to do. But so far that's what we have. Oh, sorry, there is an incoming one. It's a new one. It's the breast prosthetic. So for specifically breast cancer patients, part of their treatment, some of them is having mastectomy, which is a surgery that is done where either both or one of their breasts is removed. So most of them, and this one I also observed, it could be really hot. And this woman will come and she's wearing such a heavy sweater, or like the scarves, kikoi. And I'm like, Mami, hausikii joto, what's happening? She's like, unajua walikata, nisitaki watu waniangalie nikitembea. I just be like, Or someone would be like, I take like pieces of clothes and then stuff in there, and there is that kidogo difference in size, especially. So that's one of the things we're doing. We had a call for crocheters, so we're having people come in to help make the breast prosthetics from yarn. So they either crochet or they knit, and we give to the patients. So when they walk up there after mastectomy, they still feel comfortable and beautiful. Yeah.
So who can get involved, and why should someone get involved?
Who can get involved? Anyone. When we started, I had specifically medical students in mind, just because of my experience of feeling like a fraud. And I talked to some of my colleagues and I asked them, do you ever feel like even when you're just in the ward and talking to a patient and they ask you, daktari, unaweza nisaidia au unanisaidia aje, and you're just like, I'm taking a good history so we can find a diagnosis. And we all know more often than not, you are not the first contact. The diagnosis is known. And so there's just that part. What can you do in your capacity as a student? So in the beginning, Warrior Glow was a space where students can just express themselves with whatever skill you have as a person. We don't have a unit on tying turbans or making nails or photography or crocheting. It's just a skill that you have as a person that you can bring to benefit the patient, either directly or indirectly. So that was the idea in the beginning, and still majorly, but with our latest program, the crocheters, some people who are non-medics really express how they want to be part of it, and so now we are having that idea of also welcoming non-medics as part of the team.
How can someone get involved?
It's so easy. You just basically express interest. You are interested, you see what you're doing, and you are buying it. You understand, like you have bought into our vision, you're welcome. You have something that can contribute to what we're doing. Karibu.
Have a fund or something that people can contribute to financially or something like that?
Yes, because once again, it's a student-run initiative, so I'm not working. Dangote is not my father, I can assure you. So yes, we run on donations. Most of the time, whenever we're having our monthly sessions, we have like a call for donations. Like the Christmas one, we had hashtag buy a scarf for a patient. For Valentine's, we had hashtag so much love, like so moja, so 100 bob. I felt we are having an influx of members because of publicity, like through Amsun and through other forums, and people are knowing more about it. So we're having members in, and we're hoping that they can be another source of income. We're just having like a monthly sort of contribution fee towards our sessions. Yeah. But apart from that, sorry, we're looking forward to reach out to stakeholders. But that is more of we're looking forward. We haven't started yet.
If someone wants to get in volunteer for a monthly session, how would they do that? Or who should they contact to do that?
After we announce that we're having a session and we give the date, we usually mostly start with guys who are members. Because by being a member, you have already, it's sort of saying that I would want to be part of whatever you're doing. So mostly in spaces where people are already members, we usually send an application form to apply to be part of the team, because also during our sessions there is a limited number of volunteers who can come in because of COVID, because of space. So not everyone can come in. It's just a limited number. So when that happens, it's keyboard warriors. The first ones, first come, first serve.
Do you guys have an Instagram page or Facebook where people can reach you?
We have an Instagram page, Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, WhatsApp. The name is warrior_group. Yeah, in all the spaces.
What usually goes on in a monthly session?
We usually first start, say hi to the patients, and then we like inviting a nutritionist, just because most of the time the patients are usually like asking, what should I eat? Like I shouldn't, if I kula nyama, I'm not supposed to take this. And to a very great extent, we also don't know those answers very accurately, so usually have a nutritionist come and then address these questions. And then we have someone from the social service office, which we are affiliated to, come and, in case there's anything they have to say, or just even facilitate. They actually facilitate our sessions. And then now we come in with the turban session, where we have someone illustrating and the patient's doing it. Now our role as medical volunteers, no, just as volunteers, is if you see a patient struggling, you just go help them. Don't do it for them, just help them. And then usually have like a snack period, have tea and snacks, and interacting with them, and then have the meal session. During our meal session, we usually get like feedback from them, so we ask them, how else can we help you apart from what you're doing? What other challenges have you faced because of the treatment you're going through? That what other challenge can we address, and what can we do better? What have you like? Did you appreciate this? Is this relevant? Like, is this relevant? Is this working? And just be like, how is everything? How's your family? Just catching up,
What have you learned so far from being a part of Warrior Glow?
I have learned how to work with a team. I tend to prefer doing things on my own, and so having to work with a team is something I've learned. Actually, it's good if you get the dynamics well, because you get to not do so much because you have other people helping you. So is one, and then with the patients, it has taught me to appreciate life and to just appreciate good health. Because you talk to these patients and they tell you stuff that their body is going through and stuff that has happened because of whatever is going, the illness and the treatment, and you realize, pathology is doing me, but the intensity is not the same, and it's not like it's invalidating, but I'm just like, I just have to be grateful and just have to push on. And at the same time, Warrior Glow has taught me whatever it is that you would want to like see come to be, it can actually come to be with the right people, and just trusting God. Because I remember when I had it as an idea, I was just like, it sounds good. And then also like, those voices also like, don't be confused. Max Godwin is a fictional character. Girl, it doesn't work like that in the real world. Like, where are you going to start? Like, I had all those voices, but then like once I shared with my friends and like with the right people, and just them bringing that vision alive, it's just made me become more optimistic towards trying stuff that that I wasn't sure it would work, trying stuff that are just ideas. So I think it's just made me become more bold. Yeah.
What do you see for the future of Warrior Glow?
What do I see for the future of Warrior Glow? I see us influencing the journey of cancer patients, from it being such a painful and depriving journey to one that is what's the word, more wholesome and not so painful and depriving. That's one of the things, because most of these patients, when all these things are happening, let's say the tumor is going small, but their mental health is just, we read papers on this, and it actually has such an effect on them. Most of these people end up having body image issues, depression, anxiety. They're afraid of social circles. Like, it really does change their lives. So I see Warrior Glow. Sorry, I forgot to say something. And most of these things, when they happen, and other people in society are seeing this, they're afraid of having cancer, and they're afraid of going to healthcare facilities for the treatment, because they're like, the treatment was bad. So, and eventually they'll end up coming, but what happens? They come like when the disease has really progressed. So things are just bad. So we keep seeing a progression of people coming to hospital during the late stages, and so most of the time the prognosis is bad. But the minute you show patients that, yes, your hair will fall, but we have a hack for you. They're never gonna know. This will happen, but we'll help you, deal with that. It will encourage, even when someone, notices something, they can be like, hey, let me just go, it's treated early. So that's one of the things I see for Warrior Glow. I see us addressing more things than we're addressing now. I also see us expanding to beyond University of Nairobi and Kenyatta Hospital, to other healthcare facilities that deal with cancer patients. So yeah, and to more people joining in and bringing whatever it is that they have to the greater good. So yeah. Yes.
So how can someone partner with Warrior Glow?
Give us your money. Like, would really use your money, guys, for some of the things you want to do. They really require money. Like for the breast prosthetics thing we're doing, the best yarn to use is cotton, which we don't have locally. So most of it we will have to import, which is expensive. Why do you need cotton? Because it's soft. The skin where they're going to put that prosthetic is very sensitive. So that's why we could use that particular type of yarn, and among other things that you're doing. So you could partner with us financially. You could also do donations, like some things like the nail polishes and hats and scarves. You can also share widely on social media through word of mouth, whichever way you can share. If you use smoke signals where you come from about us, so just more people can know about it and come in and partner, and just also so other patients can know about it and come and benefit. So yes, those are ways you can partner with us. You can also partner with us by bringing in a skill or something that you can do that can benefit the patients. It can either be directly or indirectly. For example, if you can take good photos or good videos, it really come through. You know why? Because when you're going to stakeholders and you're telling them, we have this and this, we need good visual, representation of the initiative. And yeah, some of us are not really good at it. So yeah, whatever skill you have, you just come, bring it. We'll show you how we can use it because we have this for it.